Hey there, everybody, and welcome back. For those of you that are looking to learn more about web scraping and also services like Scraper API, which I'll be covering in a bit, stay tuned. I'm going to be walking through a couple of use cases, examples, and how to get this set up without much technical knowledge. Now, before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel for new content. All right, so jumping straight in, web scraping can be a really complex topic, but the idea at a high level for beginners is it gives you a way to pull data from a website. For example, specific headings, text, content, etc. But it can get much deeper than that depending on what you need to do. So to keep it simple today, we're going to scrape my website over at codelessfix.com, but we're going to go over a high level overview of what Scraper API is going to be doing or how it's going to help us. So you'll see right here we have web scraping is complex, we make it simple, and then a quick overview of some things you can benefit from with Scraper API. So you'll see it handles proxies, browsers, and captchas, so you can get the HTML from any web page with a simple API call. Now, one critical thing to note here is, regardless of the service you're using, when you're doing web scraping or anything similar, make sure that you're following any and all applicable laws, rules, guidelines, regulations, etc., because there are some websites that do not allow you to do this, and there's a ton of different things you need to factor in, so make sure you get the legal stuff taken care of first. All right, so we're going to scroll through the website really quickly. You'll see you no longer have to deal with proxies and rotating millions of IP addresses to stay unblocked. Basically, they're going to have that rotation piece handled for you on the back end. You'll see they have 50 plus geolocations, 40 million IPs around the world, a 99% uptime guarantee, unlimited bandwidth, and then you have professional support. And they do have a free tier, and they are set up for scalability. So you'll see you have a couple of different options here, so easy to use, fully customizable. So you'll see a couple of different choices: Bash, Node, Python / Scrapey, PHP, Ruby, and Java. Now, for those of you that are less technical, we are going to be building this or setting it up, and we're going to be using ChatGPT, so we don't need to know any coding knowledge whatsoever. And you'll see you have tons of documentation and SDKs available for the following. You can also click here to see the API documentation if you're interested. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close this. I have logged in and set up a free account, so you can just click login or try free and get yours set up, but we're going to go over the pricing very, very quickly. And when it comes to pricing, they do have a free tier, but I am also going to include a link in the description. It is going to be for the affiliate link. So if you go over to codelessfix.com and then you go to About Us, Affiliate Links, you'll see there is a Scraper API affiliate link. I will get a financial benefit if you sign up using that link, and we'll go over this in a moment, which is how I actually got this set up to run online without needing to download anything. So going over the pricing, you'll see that we have the scraping pricing here, hobby all the way through enterprise. You can read more about each if you're interested, but when you scroll through, you'll see additional functionality here. And then you'll see for the free plan, you get 1,000 free API credits with a maximum of 5 concurrent connections. So we'll see how to kind of monitor that in a bit. So now that we have the pricing set up, let's log into our home screen. You'll see we have our API key here. In this case, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be removing this API key. You can check your settings and swap out API keys, but it's not something that you're going to want to share with other people. That's why I'll be recycling it at the end of this video. All right, so now when we go to ChatGPT, which is how we're going to get this essentially set up, and then we're going to go over to Replit. So replit.com. I have other videos on this. If you're interested, you can take a look at my channel. But basically, if we go to Replit and we just create a new Replit. So the idea is you can go to your home page and you'll see I have this sample item set up. So if we go to our home screen here, which is basically when you log in, and you'll see if you click My REPLs, you'll see I have one right here. Or you can just click to create a new one, and we're just going to make one in Python. It'll land you in a page like this. So we're going to type our code in here, and like I said, we don't need to know coding for this because we're using ChatGPT. So I started off by saying, write me a Python script that works with Scraper API to scrape a website, and you'll see it says, here's what you do, and then here's a little bit more detail. And you'll see it's importing you need. So you'll see up here, it's telling you it's importing the request library. But since we're using Replit, we're not running this on our local machine. You'll see all we need is our API key right here, and then a URL to scrape. However, I want to scrape for something specific. Now, this is important right here, making sure you comply with terms of service for Scraper API, and also any relevant laws, rules, guidelines, etc. So make sure you take a note of that. Now, I told it to return all H1 headings on the specified website. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this code, and you'll see it's going to specify those H1 headings. So now we'll head over here and paste it in. And really the only change that we need to make is to grab our API key here, and then we'll paste it in between these double quotes. And then we are going to scroll down, and we're just going to type in my website. So we'll type in codelessfix.com. Now we also want to check and make sure that we are actually able to pull the correct information. So we're going to load the page and check as well. So now we're going to click run, and you'll see it's going to run this, and it's showing we make custom and pre-built apps. So now when I go to my website, you'll see this is the H1 heading, and it pulled it through. So now we could change this if we wanted to, and if we want, we could go for H2 headings. Now the thing to note about this is you would need to, just to be safe, if you don't know coding, which is going to be the idea behind this video, we're just, everywhere it says H1, we're just going to put H2 and just see if it's as simple as that. So we have replaced H1 everywhere with H2, and I'm not sure if I got it everywhere. Let's see, we're going to put it down here too. Worst case, you can always just do a find all. So you could put it in Microsoft Word and do a find all and replace. So I'm just going to hit Control F on my page, and I'll type in H1, and you'll see the only one we get is commented out. So we don't really need that. So let's click run and see what happens. And in this case, the H2 headings we'd be looking for, I believe, would be text like this. So you'll see we have custom apps for your project, pre-built apps, highly rated seller, YouTube tutorials, still not convinced. So let's scroll through. Pre-built apps, highly rated seller, YouTube tutorials, still not convinced. So everything is coming through as expected. Now we can check and see if we're actually essentially using Scraper API through that API. And you'll see our usage credits are going up, and it shows the usage right here. So we can see the calls that are successful, the credit that's being used, etc. Since we do get the 5,000 credits since we just set up our new account. So it looks like everything is working as expected. Now, what you can do from here is you can continue to work with ChatGPT to modify the script to scrape potentially more websites or different websites for different content. But again, you want to be very careful about what and how you're doing that. But again, that's a high-level overview from a very non-technical perspective. And you should also, if you were interested, get this to be exported as like a CSV file or use other programs as well. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below, and I'll see you all in the next video.